And this is the point at which I'm going to get rid of this book, and then we're going to really talk.
Okay. We're going to get deep.
Yeah. Do you like when people get deep, or do you like, because you do so
I
many
don't like
of
the
these.
same interviews. Like, you can always tell if the interviewer has done their homework or not, or like if they just got this assignment and said, okay, I'm going to go out here and do it. It's
Yeah.
like,
Did I do my homework?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And it's usually the ones that aren't asking the same old questions.
Yeah.
They're digging in. They're getting farther in, and I like that.
Well,
because there's more to me than just getting blown up.
thank you. Yes. And you, you like that? There's more to me than just getting blown up. So do you look at that then? You were talking about your show and how, you know, this is going to sound so weird. Are you almost thankful in a weird sort of way that
I
thank
don't
you for
see
this
this as a
opportunity?
tragedy. I don't see it as a bad thing whatsoever. It's another life experience that's taught me a lot about myself. It's taught me how to get confidence in myself, and it's basically showed me what I'm capable of.
Well, weren't you confident? I get the sense you were a
wasn't.
confident guy. No?
I was shy. I was very friendly. I wasn't shy, but I had a hard time talking to girls. I, just was unsure of myself. I'd always ask, is this right? Is this okay? You know.
You have a twin brother?
I do have an identical twin brother.
Oh,
yes.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, so, yeah.
So what we were getting at was, is this kind of a strange blessing?
Bad thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's given me opportunities that I might not necessarily otherwise had. So how can I possibly look at it as a bad thing? I do everything I want to do. I have an extraordinary life, and I have so much fun doing it. And I get to help people along the way. I mean, what more could you ask for?
Well, you're really, a lot of the young ladies in the studio here were saying, what an attractive guy and that kind
Oh,
of thing.
really?
Do you anticipate, would you like to get married,
I would.
Yeah.
But I travel a lot now, and it makes it really hard. So I'm very picky. I like to have fun, don't get me wrong, and I'll go to bars and have fun and, meet girls and do all that good stuff. But as far as dating a girl, she really has to, intrigue me or catch my interest or have, that package. I'm looking for that right one. I don't want to get divorced. I've been married and divorced. It was a 2-week thing, but wasn't real.
Does that even count?
I know.
Yeah.
I don't count it.
Wow.
But, so I'm looking for that right one. And I meet a lot of people. So I take my time with,
But that's down the road on
Absolutely.
the plan. Do you know how they
Well,
talk
that's not necessarily, if I met somebody tomorrow
Yeah.
that I thought was just, oh my gosh,
the one?
I would absolutely go after it. I just haven't felt that way.
But do you have, gosh, you've done so many things. A bucket list is not even in the picture, but do you have a list? Let's say, I'd really like to do this and this.
Absolutely.
What's there?
Hang gliding, what you said, flying.
Yeah, ultralight.
I've done skydiving, I've done the adrenaline stuff. Let's put it this way. There's a saying that say, you're always alive if you never do anything for the last time, or something like that, right?
It works.
Well, my philosophy is that I always want to do something for the first time. That's my goal. I want to try everything once. I don't care what it is. I'm down to get as many experiences that you possibly can. Because to me, experience is knowledge.
Experience is knowledge. And so that there's plenty yet to be accomplished in your list.
Absolutely.
All right, let's talk about your legs. So you don't like to wear prosthetics,
right?
Okay, so you got the wheelchair, and you do work with the wheelchair company. You're testing it to find one that can do crazy sports and those kinds of things.
Yes, I've designed one that I take into half pipes and skate parks and stuff like that. But with our company, Quantum Rehab or Pride Mobility, they make higher end rehab chairs. So they make this Lightstream, and they make power chairs like the Christopher Reeves type chair. So they're always looking for new designs and working within the parameters of what Medicare and Medicaid will pay for.
Yeah, that's an option
And that's
too.
the issue.
That is an issue. So in the beginning of the show, the regular show that we did, you took your hand off. So it goes 360?
Yes.
Yeah. That's cool.
It's my bar trick.
Yeah. I'm sure it entertains. And you said you always admired Superman anyway.
Right, so I've always wanted to fly. When I skydived, I jumped out of the plane. Like the whole flight on the way up, I'm like, I can't wait to jump, I can't wait to jump. Let's jump, let's jump, let's jump. And we got to the door and we're like, boom, gone.
Boom, done.
And once the chute pulled, you're in like a standing position. So I'm like this, and I'm looking down at everything, and you can't help but feel like you're Superman just watching over the city, you know. It's
kind of a
cool.
cool experience.
It is so cool.
You know, I want to just talk a little bit more about, are we doing enough for our returning veterans, the post 9/11 vets? And you said yes, that the services and the resources are out there. They just need to ask.
Well, okay, so the one thing that I would say that we could do more of is what's the right word? Get all those organizations, all those good organizations out there,
The
more
helping organizations?
Right, more attention, because soldiers don't know all of these places are out there to help them, and that's the biggest problem. That's the gap between the issues.
PTSD, TBI, post-traumatic stress disorder, traumatic brain injury. We're hearing about a lot of that coming back.
Right.
And so you think we're doing enough for those guys and girls, women?
There's only so much you can do, and they're doing the studies to try to figure out what's going on with that and how to help it and, you know, make it easier to handle. I'm very lucky. I don't have either.
You are lucky.
I think, my own personal opinion, I think PTSD is absolutely a real thing, but I think it happens after the fact, and I think the soldier does it to themselves. So you come home, or you're on a mission in Iraq and something happens, like it just messes with your head. And then you come back off mission, and what are you doing? You're sitting there replaying it over and over and over in your head, and that's what messes you up. So
Stop the replay?
exactly. So when I came home, instead of thinking about everything that I just did in Iraq, I focused on what was in front of me. I focused on my friends. I focused on doing something else other than thinking about what was over there. And I think that's what helped me come out of it easier.
I won't go into the war and your opinions about that, but I do know that you mentioned the fact the IEDs, the improvised explosive devices, on your first tour of duty in Iraq, they had changed.
Everything evolves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Much more intense?
Absolutely. So the first year in Iraq, they were like little Pepsi cans with wires sticking out. It literally sounded like an M80, and you're like, whatever, and you kept going because it didn't even pop a tire. But they started elaborating them, making them better, you know, figuring out what worked and what didn't work. And they came up with this EFP. It's like a platter charge. So it works off the same concept as a cannon or a gun. It's physics. All explosions explode up and out. That's why they tell you to get as low as you can. Well, you lose a lot of energy that way. So if you can harness that energy and make it all go in one direction, it's 10 times worse. So with my IED that got me, it was an EFP platter charge. They had 5 of them, 3 on the bottom and 2 on the top. So they take a cylinder, like a steel cylinder or a concrete cylinder, about that size. They shove it with plastic explosives, and then they shove it with nails and glass and BBs and all that. And then they'll cover it with a copper plate. And they have 5 of these. So they'll have 3 on the bottom, and they're all angled in one little different direction, and then 2 on top are up this way and that way. So when it explodes into a wall instead of like a point target like a gun. And that copper plate that's over that cover liquefies. It gets so hot that it liquefies, and that's what melts through the truck. It doesn't pierce it, it melts through the truck. And that's what's getting us.
How do you, forensics, they do forensics on the after the fact, or you just know this?
I don't know.
About the
I mean,
bomb?
I've heard it from
Okay.
experts and
And you've
just,
experienced
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Leave us with some words. I mean, you're so full of wisdom, and you are inspirational. Your story is very compelling, but what would you leave our audience with? What would you leave people with?
It's all up to you. You can do whatever you want, you know. The world's out there. It may seem really big, but it's really not, you know. Even me, I've just started chugging along. doing different things, seeing what comes out there. So take all those opportunities that come your way, because if you don't, you might be one of those persons that's 50 years from now saying, I wish I would have done this, or I wish I would have done that. I don't want to be that person, because when an opportunity comes my way, I'll always take it, and if I don't like it at the time, you can always change it, you know? So, you know, change it instead of missing it. That would kind of be my advice, I guess. I don't know.
The Bryan Anderson philosophy. There you go.
Live
right?
life. Live, love, thrive.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for
Appreciate
having
it.
me.